Hey, welcome to the channel. Today we'll be starting a new series. This is part one of a three-part series around using the lean method of choosing by advantages in order to make decisions. Part one will be focused on choosing between tent camping, a pop-up trailer, a travel trailer, or a van, and how we ultimately chose travel trailer out of that. First, let me explain choosing by advantages. When comparing the different alternatives, a lot of people like to use pros and cons. The issues with pros and cons is a pro for one is often a con for the other, and it doesn't equate exactly fairly between the different alternatives. With choosing by advantages, you have particular factors down the side that you are comparing, and then the alternatives across the top. And the worst one in that particular, for that factor, gets 0 points, and you get points for any items that are better than the worst. And then you add up those points, and that really becomes your advantage. And then at the end, you plot that advantage versus the cost to then make an ultimate decision. Next, I need to introduce you to our usage and ultimately our family. So we're 2 adults with 2 kids, a 7-year-old and 11-year-old, and we love going on adventures. We mainly go rock climbing, but we also like hiking and paddling and skiing and snowboarding, but we really just love getting out and enjoying nature. Let's start by going through the factors and specifically talk about tent camping, since that's what we've been doing for 20 plus years. With camping, the nice thing is that there's no specific vehicle needed as long as it can hold your gear. Downsides are you're only climate controlled if you're in a hotel room. Keeping food cool is difficult. You're kind of relying on a cooler. Any type of bathroom convenience is out the window. We only get those in hotel rooms. Whenever you get back home, you have to remove everything and put it back in the vehicle later when you want to go again. As far as raining goes, like everything has to be dried out. If anything is wet when you get back home, the nice thing is that things last for a little bit, and when they wear out, you just replace them, and they're not that expensive. Also, just having a standard vehicle means that it's easily maneuverable around town. You can use toll lanes, as well as the tent kind of reserves your camping spot. Let me skip over PopUp Camper for a second and talk about an RV travel trailer. You'll need an SUV that can tow probably 5,000 pounds for most of these. Nice thing is that you can get AC through a generator or when connected to shore power through inverter with some solar or extra battery setup. You have a refrigerator right there and freezer that can keep things cold, built-in toilet and shower. Many items can just be kept in the trailer and the gear in the vehicle without having to unpack and pack in between trips. And guess what? Everything can be done inside. You can eat, sleep, cook, all the things in case it is raining or inclement weather. Some downsides are, there's a lot more maintenance that you have to do on these type of trailers. But there is an advantage if it does reserve your camping spot, but it can make some tolls more expensive or maneuverability not as good as a single vehicle. Next up is the PopUp Camper, which has some of the negatives of tent camping with having to let your trailer dry out, while also having some of the negatives of the travel trailer as far as just less maneuverability. Lastly is the camper van, which seem to be really popular with rock climbers these days. Our big issue with that is it's really expensive to have one fitted out to sit and sleep 4 people, and you lose a lot of space with that configuration. The advantage is you are a little bit more maneuverable, but the downside is you don't really have anything that is keeping your spot if you're primitive camping. After adding all of the factors and the data, you work on your scale of importance of how important different aspects are to you. And then you can put those values in for the different factors underneath the different alternatives and get up an advantage number for each alternative. Lastly, you plot the cost versus the advantage, and hopefully there's a clear winner there. For us, it was the RV travel trailer. Stay tuned for part 2, where we determined which travel trailer we wanted to get, a safari condo, a scamp, a casita, or an escape.